Welcome to On Air with Kash. Our guest today began acting at the age of 6. At the age of 10, she was cast in the title role of the 12th Night Productions' Oliver. She then began to appear regularly in TV commercials and independent features, including Laggies with Keira Knightley and Chloe Grace Moretz. She won the Teen Actress in a short film at the 38th Young Artist Awards in 2017 for her performance in Jersey Girl. That same year, she starred in the short film Grifters, for which she won the Best Young Actress short film at the 2017 Young Entertainers Award. She appears in Woodstock or Bust in 2018, Wallflower in 2019. This girl is on a roll. She needs no introduction. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
We met last year. We kept going to the same events. I invited you to my film festival. I was so honored to have you there. I was just blown away by how much you've accomplished.
Thank you so much. And I mean, I loved getting to attend your film festival. That was such a great event. I had so much fun. I can't wait for when we get to do it again.
Yes.
This year, even with the pandemic, even with the shutdown, it still has been a great year in terms of projects and getting to work, getting to grow as an actor, as a filmmaker, as a host. And I had a film come out called My Summer as a Goth. It released in November of 2020. That film had gone through the festival circuit. I was honored to be nominated for Best Supporting Actress in a Feature Film at the Young Artist Awards. I'm currently working on the film Martingale, starring Kelly Sullivan from Young and the Restless.
Rachelle also appears in Wallflower, which was released in 2019. It's now available on video on demand platforms. The film is based on the untold tragic story of the Seattle Capitol Hill massacre that occurred in 2006. When asked why to tell this story, filmmaker Jager Gravning told the Capitol Hill News that he felt compelled to tell the story as it was on his mind, as he had a personal connection as he grew up with so many people who were present that night and felt traumatized by this event as a community. Now, Rachelle, I'm aware that you were very young when this event happened, but as you're from Seattle also, did you personally feel a connection to this story?
I do, in the sense that I know people that are connected to the events that happened. While I was so young, I was like 5 years old when it happened, so I don't remember. But I do know so many people that were on set talking about how, like, I was in this grade when this happened, or I remember I was working at this place when this happened. And they were talking about the effects of how that tragedy really shook up Seattle and how it shook up the rave scene. I didn't know anything about the rave scene, and how much it was tied into Seattle, and even how worldwide it was such a big event and it was such a scary time for everyone in those communities. So as I've gotten to hear people's stories, I mean, it really hits me close to home because I know where Capitol Hill is. I've gone to Capitol Hill so many times. It's a staple community in Seattle, and it's such a lively area. And so to think about that really happened to people is really tragic. And I remember Jager talking to us about how he was invited to the party that Wallflower is about, and I think he said he was sick or there was something going on and he didn't go that night. And he talks about how lucky he was that he didn't go. And I'm really lucky that they trusted me with the role that they gave me. On IMDb, it's listed as female murderer. I'll clarify. I play the killer's alter ego. There's a scene where the killer, and they never address his name. We're not letting him have the spotlight because the story is about the victims and those who were affected by the tragedy and the people they were. The good, kind, caring, fun, exciting people that they were and their lives. So it's more about them than it is the killer. The killer is just a part of this event and how it happened. And so my character represents, the side of him that he never had, the compassion and the goodness that he never had in life, and maybe yearned for. We don't actually know. So it was interesting. It was an interesting thing getting to do that.
And I did admire your statement while you were being interviewed about this particular film, is that it's important for you as an artist to be involved that touch on important topics and is reflective in what's going on in the world and addressing serious issues.
I agree. I think that that's part of what art is. And this film brings up so many different things: gun violence, mental illness. And so we hope that this film can inspire people to take a look at some of these issues. And I'm lucky that as an artist, I get to be a part of getting people connected to topics that they might not have thought about.
Absolutely. And another film, which actually I did see, Creased, your character and your chemistry. And that's another film that it does touch on diversity, identity, friendship, and really what it's like living in the social media age.
Yeah, that was an amazing film to work on. I absolutely loved working with Jade Justed. She was an incredible director to work with. The cast and crew were great. I love that they leave it open ended. So then the viewer can decide what choice did she make. And we don't have the film. So it's like, oh, surgery is bad, don't get it. Or, oh, you should get surgery. We have it where it's an actual discussion of the pros and cons of it. And so the viewer can decide what they think, how they feel about it, which I really adore that that's how Jade told the story. And that film was a great experience as an actor. I loved playing Sid. She's she can be a bit brash and she is a mean when she's drunk and partying, but she actually is very supportive of her friend and is actually she actually has a heart of gold and she wants the best for her friend. And so I love that the character has so many layers. It just was it was a great film to be a part of.
Because that's what I took apart from your performance, where it was just, I could see two friends having a conversation. When you have that moment, which you played brilliantly, and I could feel the intensity, it was so believable. Even while you two were having an argument and fighting with each other, I did feel a connection, some love between the characters.
You were talking about how such an important topic it is. And I think right now, with everything going on, I mean, so much is going on in the news. And I feel like right now it's such a relevant film with those topics right now.
Rochelle also starred in Losing It. It's a coming of age prom date gone wrong thriller that premiered at Slamdance 2017 and was an official selection at the Cannes Short Film Corner.
I loved getting to be in Losing It. That was such an amazing film to be a part of. It's a very David Lynchian style film, so it's very creepy. It's very unnerving to watch. And it's a slow burn, so it like starts and you don't know quite where it's going, but it's very quirky and weird. And but yeah, my character, her name's Sarah Newton. She's a very sweet, shy girl. She's also, when you watch the film, she's also really strong and she has boundaries. She knows what she wants. She's not going to let someone ruin her night. She's not going to let her prom date take advantage of her and treat her badly. She puts her foot down. I always love strong female characters, and that character really shows that strong female characters doesn't necessarily mean toting guns and wearing shorts, having an attitude. Being strong is about your spirit and your will and, you know, fighting for what you want and how to get out of situations. It's not always, you know, what we perceive it to be. So I did love how my character Sarah had that character arc.
Amazing. Yes. And I agree with you too. I mean, because that's what I look for. Like, I like stories that are what we were talking about, where it's those gray areas where the characters are layered. Like you mentioned strong female leads in cinema. And actually, I was really jealous when I found out that you were in Laggies because about 2 years ago, I was just looking on Netflix. Oh, Keira Knightley's in, yeah, I'll check this movie out. Where I was at that moment in my life, what her character was going through, just going with the flow and be like, okay, this is my life. And I'm just drifting. And then it was trying to recapture her youth. And then she goes on another journey and then realizes that the safe way that she was planning wasn't where she wanted to be. Like that's the type of a movie where I see a strong female lead who's really going through some stuff and I'm just like, whoa, like that was a story. And that's something that I'm interested and invested in. And I'm jealous that you got to be a part of that movie.
Oh my gosh, I was so excited when I got to be in Laggies. Miss Lynn Shelton, she was such an amazing person, the one who directed Laggies. Lynn requested that I play one of the junior bridesmaids in the wedding scene with Keira Knightley and Ellie Kemper. And I was so excited because I was such big fans of them. And a funny memory I have is, so initially, like we were all getting dressed and we didn't see Keira, and then they walked her out and we were all wearing these matching dresses, except each person had a different color. Mine was green and Kira's was a turquoise. So ours were the closest in color, in those two, in terms of those like cooler colors. And she walks by and she looks at each of our like outfits and she would say to each girl, like, oh, I love your eyeshadow. Oh, I love your shoes. And then she walked over to me and she goes, oh my gosh, I love this whole look. You look beautiful, darling. And I'm like, what? I was I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I've always loved Keira Knightley.
Rochelle appears in Woodstock or Bust, a coming-of-age period piece starring Willow Shields and Meg DeLacy. She plays Jill, the best friend. It's now available to stream and on VOD platforms. What was it like going back to the 60s?
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I've always loved, period pieces. I've always loved like vintage outfits and movies from that time period. I kind of consider myself like a throwback, a retro baby. Like I love those things. So getting to be a part of a film around Woodstock was so much fun. I loved getting to do that piece and getting to wear my outfit and getting to do an Ed Sullivan impression.
Quiet down, y'all groovy, baby. Tonight, we are gonna have a very, very good show for you all. We have Meryl and Lorian who are about to embark on their journey to Woodstock! Yeah! Yeah! To groove some of the coolest, the baddest, the freakiest people!
Thank you, Joe.
And I brought brownies, guaranteed to drive the square right out of your soul. So come and get them!
That was so well. Oh my God. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
well.
And it was hard to find any footage online of Ed Sullivan. I thought it would be so much easier.
Really?
But for some reason, YouTube only had a few videos, and not a lot of them did they show like his opening monologues, like him talking. So I had to like rewatch this one like a million times, like just one video to try to see like how did he stand, because I'm trying to get like his stance and trying to get his inflection. Very good show for you all. I had so much fun getting to work with Willow Shields, who everyone knows as Primrose Everdeen in The Hunger Games, and she's been in Netflix's Spinning Out. Getting to work with Meg DeLacy. They were both wonderful to work with. I play their friend Jill. They're a singing duet, so they recruit me, their friend Jill, to hold a kegger. This party is full of pop brownies, spiked punch, and my Ed Sullivan impression.
When I was in high school, there was a period where I wore bell bottoms. I had like shaggy hair. I was totally doing this like, Jim Morrison phase and everything. And I know a lot of friends of mine who always like they want to go back to the 60s. So you captured that for all of us, Rachelle. And your most current film that was released in November of 2020, My Summer as a Goth, it was a film festival favorite. You were nominated for Best Supporting Actress in a Feature Film for your role of Molly. You play the best friend, and this was for the 40th Annual Young Artist Awards.
Yes, that was such an amazing project to be a part of. It was fun, and I got to learn a lot about a culture I didn't know anything about, and I really love and respect them, and I've gotten to meet people at the film festivals. We had a lot of fans coming up to us, people that would drive for hours to come and see the film because they had never seen goths represented positively on screen before. They had never seen teenage role models in the goth community. They had never seen that before. So to then see people portraying that, and I had a lot of goth kids talk to me about how they wish that they had had a friend like Molly, someone that even if they're not goth, still supports them and loves them for who they are. That's something I really appreciate about my character, was that my character, she doesn't care like how you identify. She doesn't care how you dress. It's about if you're a good person or not. And she just loves you for who you are and for your values. And so I think that Molly is a great role model for people to watch because she really does care about her best friend. And she wants only the best thing for Joey. Like that's really what she cares about, is whatever will actually make her friend happy, whatever will be healthy and positive for her. And I think that people can learn a lot, like those relationships in the film.
I feel like our careers kind of mirrored each other. The first roles I went out for was for Gothic Boy for this MTV show. And I think I was 15 at the time and they wanted someone 18 or older, but I kept getting called back. I was like, oh, okay, I understand that. And then I got a modeling gig for a Monster Clothing, which they made clothes for Hot Topic. So I was featured then, which was
Nice.
pretty cool. Yeah, it was nice to be like, oh, Hot Topic model. You have your own show as well, too, The Lightning Hour. I mean, how did that come about?
So I've, of course, like over the past few years, I've produced my own content. I have my own production company, directing, writing, producing, and I've gotten to host some live events before. And so I had met Rico Anderson first year I was nominated at the Young Artist Awards. He was presenting. And
I saw that Rico presented you with the award.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so,
He's a
and
great
I
guy.
won.
I know he's part of that crowd that we all run into each other at the events.
Yeah, I adore Rico. He's awesome. I adore Rico and Sasha. They're amazing.
Sasha as well, yes.
Yeah. So I met Rico the first year I was nominated. I won that year. And we talked like after the show, we connected on Facebook and we started talking over the years. And then a few years later, for the 40th annual Young Artist Awards, we were both asked to present, and we were going to present together the opening awards. And we had a blast. We loved getting to improvise some of what we were going to do on stage. Our chemistry as hosts was amazing. We knew that we loved hosting together, and we were asked to host multiple events together. And Sasha and I met years ago on a project, became friends, and we really wanted to do something together. So then all three of us became friends. And during one event that I was hosting with Rico, I said to both of them, like, we should have our own show. We should, do something together. We should collaborate. And then the pandemic happens. And we hadn't seriously discussed, like, what are we going to do as a show? How are we going to do it? We didn't go through the logistics. We didn't do any planning. And I said to them, I said, now's the time. Like, everything's shut down. Like, this is the perfect time to start this, because we'll be able to talk to people that we might not have access to because of like time and availability. And it was a way for us to not only keep creating, but to connect with others. And it was a great process. We've done 2 seasons in the past year with the pandemic. And it was great. We've gotten to interview people like Elliot Gould, David DeLuise, Lynn Shay, Dot Marie Jones.
My God, what haven't we covered here? This girl is phenomenal. Rachelle Henry, I can't thank you enough for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Kash. This really means a lot to me. I've loved getting to talk to you about these different stories and these different projects. So thank you so much for having me. I'd love to be back. My social media handles, you can follow me at the Rachelle Henry on Instagram, Rachelle M. Henry on Twitter, Rachelle Henry Actress on Facebook. And also, please subscribe to The Lightning Hour.
And while you're at it, don't mind, you can go to On Air with Kash. We're on Instagram and Twitter as well. Like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Rachelle, I would love to have you back. I am just so intrigued and I am blown away. You act, you write, you direct. You've accomplished so much and you're so young. I can't wait to see what roles you take on in the future and where your career goes. It can only go up from here. You can watch her now on My Summer as a Goth, Woodstock or Bust, Wallflower, and you can tune into her show, The Lightning Hour. Rachelle, I can't thank you enough for being here today. I had such an amazing time talking to you, learning more about you and your career. I can't wait to see where you go next.
Oh, thank you so much. I loved getting to do this. It was a blast. Yay.
So much fun. We're going to have you back again.
Thank you. That'd be great.
Thanks for tuning in with me and Rachelle Henry. You are On Air with Kash.
Woo!